Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have with us Helen Poirier, and she is not only a volunteer, but at the Auburn Historical Society Museum. She's a data research coordinator and the director of summer intern program, and there's another program for children. Welcome, Helen.
Hi. Nice to be here.
They're going to have, we first met when I read about in the paper about your craft fair coming up.
Yes.
Now that's coming up in September?
August. The last Saturday in August, the 26th.
And the Historical Society is promoting it?
Yes.
It's going to be on the Common?
No, it's promoted as the parking lot craft fair. It'll be done in the museum parking lot.
You could meet out the back of your car? Or just...
Well, you could do it, no. The parking lot is situated such as, you got the parking spaces divided. It's just the right size to put a table and vendors, and the vendors come and have assigned spots.
What if it rains?
It's rain or shine. You can bring a tarp, you can whatever you like. It's rain or... I make it perfectly clear that it is rain or shine. Now, last year was the first year we tried it, and we had a beautiful day.
So this is the second?
Right.
The second annual. What's the day again?
Saturday, September 26th. It's going to be from 8 to 1 or 8 to 2. But you can contact us and we can, it's $15 for a 10 by 15 area, which is pretty ample.
That's more than reasonable.
Yeah.
Most places you go, it's like 60, 70, 80, and people will say to me, what am I going to do? I can't afford it. I said, find a friend who maybe does a craft nothing like yours and then share it.
Well, I used to do crafts too, and did it. And it's hard. You got to make your table before you make your profit.
Yeah.
This way, what I was also looking to do was to tap into a different segment of the population, because we have a museum that's one of the few that are open all year round, which means we've got bills to pay.
Sure.
We're not a line item on the town budget.
Yeah.
So we survive by donations, some grants, the proverbial spaghetti supper, although we do a harvest supper, some raffles, and things like that. So I thought, just the way I'm wired, it looks like, let's try a craft fair.
Yeah.
And that also allows the museum to display their store things, because they have a table.
Yeah.
And we still offer it's free admission into the museum. Yeah. And there are people there that could bring you around that time too. So it's getting us out there to a different side of the population to let them know that there is a museum there.
Sure.
There's a lot in there.
Yep.
And you have fun. It's just before the craft season starts, because you can start it in September and it goes till Christmas.
You've got people buying a lot of the things for gifts, that type of thing. And how old is this Historical Society Museum?
It was given to us. The history of the building is that on that particular spot at 41 South Street in Auburn, there's been a school since the 1790s. It was a one-room schoolhouse. Then they moved it to Coolidge Street, the house, the building, and put a two-room schoolhouse, and it's the Tuttle Square School, because that is Tuttle Square. And was given to the Historical Society. The Auburn Historical Society started in the late 1960s, and the building was given to the society in 1999.
And that's the picture of it right there?
Yes, it is.
Does she need to hold it up? Oh, would you like to hold it up so they can see it? Can you zero in on it? I love it. It's a brick, right?
No, it's a wooden one. It's painted red.
Yeah.
It actually looks like this, my shirt.
Okay.
And it was been used as the overflow for the school department, the visiting nurses. And in 1999, the town let us lease it for $1 a year. and they started fundraising to bring it back to what it looked like, the schoolhouse. And it originally opened in 2004.
Wow.
So we've been open Tuesdays and Saturday mornings from 9:30 to 12:30. And we open for other special events too, if people let us know.
What are some of the special events you do there?
We have done Halloween at the museum.
Halloween at the museum?
Yep, we've done that. This year, because Halloween is going to be on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
we're looking forward to having some fun with that.
Yeah.
With some of the programs we've done, the kids from the confirmation classes came in and had games available for kids. And it was one of the years that we had an abundance of acorns. So any game they played, they had to use acorns. We didn't go out and buy. So instead of playing toss the bean bag, we tossed the bag of acorns. We had acorn and spoon instead of egg and spoon and things like that.
Isn't there something called cornrow, or what's that called?
Yeah, cornhole. Yeah,
Yep.
we did things like that.
Yeah.
We had hanging hoops and anything like that. We've done reunions.
Yeah.
We give special tours for scouts, youth groups.
School kids?
Yes, school kids. We tried. We used to have a core of school kids that would come, but the teachers have since retired and
Yeah.
things, they don't come. But yes, we do. We cater to a lot of different kinds of groups.
Yep. You do the data research.
Yes.
That must be so much fun. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And what happened is I went into 10 years ago when I retired, I went in there
Yeah.
and put things from the files to make it more accessible to people.
Yeah.
So I started with the theme books. And so people could come in and you want to know whatever was in our file about churches is in this great big 3-ring binder. You can do it and it's divided up by the churches. We can do it by cemeteries. We could do Auburn through the wars. Things like that if you wanted to know. I recently had a letter from a woman who used to live off of Packagug Hill.
Yeah.
And she wanted more information about a particular house on Maple Street.
Yeah.
So I started researching, doing that, and trying to answer all her questions, and we'd go back and forth.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to know about the original family and why did they move there and things like that. So it can be.
Have you gone to the Antiquarian Society in Worcester?
Oh, I've been there several times, yes.
What's it like in there? It must be really huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It'd be worth talking to people. But that's sort of the last place you go in your research, not the first place, because you've got to have the very specific, detailed question that you wanted answered.
When was it originally built, that building, the schoolhouse building? In the 1800s?
No, the original house, the original Auburn schoolhouse, was in the mid-1800s, I believe,
Yeah.
and the newest one is early 1900s, the 2-room. I find it interesting that they didn't just add on to the 1-room schoolhouse, but they took it, moved it to Coolidge Road, added on to it there to make it a residential place, and then put a 2-room schoolhouse on the 1-room footprint. But it's got a stone foundation, and it's the running joke that because of it's an unfinished basement, I get to do the tours down there. People don't like going down there.
Would that be great for Halloween? Remember?
It could be, but again, we work these things out.
Helen, if they have any questions, how do they reach you?
Auburn Museum at Verizon.net or at 508-832-6856. We can leave a message or leave an email, and we'll get back to you when we can.
Now, you brought some information with you.
Yes, I did.
What you got?
I'm going to be blatant about things. I'm very proud of the fact that we have interns, and we've had them for several years. And it's amazing the skill set that they come, and we just enjoy it very much. And one of the things we're able to do with them is put together the historic houses of Auburn. It's a booklet. In fact, we just did the second edition.
Right.
In 1980, the Massachusetts Historic Commission required that all towns do an inventory of their historic homes. And in my putting together of the research books,
Yeah.
I came across the original papers that that were done for Auburn. And it took a while,
Yeah.
but I had 3 interns that were absolutely fabulous. In fact, one of them just got a special award from WPI.
So were they college students?
No, at the time they were high school kids.
Oh,
And
wow.
one of them was from Worcester.
Yeah.
So what they did is we put together the book, and the kids went out to take pictures. They took the pictures, put it in the format.
Yeah.
On the back of the original papers, there was some history about the houses that we put in. If the house was no longer there, it's black and white picture,
Oh.
so people can understand what's going on. And we have this for sale, along with our images of Auburn, which is done professionally. This one was printed by Bay Path Regional Technical High School.
Have you got any residents, older residents in town? We have here in Upton, we had a woman who wrote, I know one book, maybe 2. She's passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anybody who's done anything like that?
Not quite, but we do have a couple of volunteers who, one in particular who's an excellent interviewer.
Yeah.
And he's been, when he can, because let's face it, life happens and you got to work, he has been interviewing people and writing articles for the Auburn News. We've got some ideas for books in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn Then and Now. And just a few others that we're hoping to get done. I also, with my interns, what I did last year was I had 2 AP English girls, the advanced placement girls. I always wanted to do this project and get into the school and use AP English with the art department.
Yeah.
And what I did is I took an artifact, and in this case it was a bowling ball, because Auburn was a mill town.
Yeah.
And the 2 different mills, Stoneville and Pondville, would have bowling games.
Do they still have the big bowling alley there? I thought they could have
Yes,
one. Yeah.
they have one left.
Southbridge Street?
Right.
Okay. I used to live off Southbridge.
Yeah. But I gave some facts. They had to research some more facts.
Yeah.
And what they did is they put it into this book format. And what I wanted to do is make it for 3rd grade, because 3rd grade is when they do town history. And we would publish the book.
Yeah.
Have the art department get kids who would thrive at illustrating
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah.
And then they would read it to the 3rd grade classes and give them the book. So they would have it using the artifacts.
Yeah.
So we've got the rough draft.
Yeah.
Time ran out. And
When do you think it'll come out?
well, we still have work to do. I'm hoping that the 2 girls will come back. We also did last year's kids program during the summer.
That is so cute. Yeah.
We did lawn games.
Yeah.
It was inspired by a vintage croquet set that we have at our museum.
Did you play croquet when you were a kid?
No.
My father, I don't know where he got it. I was just a little kid, but that was a big deal. The hoops,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yes, and we found out playing it at the museum that the pitch has to be flat.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But the
Yeah.
kids, the interns, had a chance to research what the games were and do the history of the games. And many of the games we play now on the lawn go back to ancient Greece and Roman times.
Yeah.
So we put together a booklet that has the different games. We did bocce, marbles, ring toss, hopscotch, washer toss, cornhole, graces, and croquet.
And those go way back, right?
Some of them go back that far. So they put together a booklet that has the history, what you need, and the instructions, and it's illustrated. And so it's there for people to use.
How
And
much is it?
We haven't put a price on
You
it.
haven't yet? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, what it's done is I meet with other historical societies who want to start the intern programs.
We have one right across the hall.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I've got all the paperwork
Yeah.
and what you need to do and how to set it up. So I met with them yesterday, and this particular one wanted to have a copy of this
Yeah.
so that they could do it at the farmers market. We have a sharing group where we all as societies would meet together and we try to work through problems and things like that.
Yeah.
And this would be something to help them. Now, I used their idea of the historic houses to create a scavenger hunt. And so I said, sure, I will send this off because we do have it all on the computer.
Well, the kids will love that.
Yeah.
And so wouldn't the grown-ups. Why don't people do more things like that for grown-ups?
Well, when I do the scavenger hunt, that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
The backyard to the museum has a fence on it, and what I did is the town of Auburn has 6 different districts.
Yeah.
And I did one district at a time.
Yeah.
And we put pictures of it in frames, because when you have a yard sale, which is what we do also,
Yeah. You have a yard sale? When do you do this?
June 10th,
My radar just went up. June 10th. What day? That's
Saturday.
Saturday, June 10th.
Yes.
Where's it going to be?
Well, that's going to be in our parking lot too, but what we do is we work off the Congregational Church
Yeah.
has their big community yard sale, and that's up the street from us.
So you're basically in the center of...
Yes. We're in what was called Center Village, or center of the town.
So if I was on Route 20, heading in the Charleston direction, where would I get off? What to find you?
It's South Street is where the Cumberland Farms is, Major League Restaurant, Napa, and Tiny's, which is a restaurant.
I know the mall and the library.
That's off of Southbridge Street.
Yeah.
So if you're on Route 20,
Yeah.
you just stay on Route 20 until you get to that Four Corners. There's a light there. South Street is right at the lights where there's the Cumberland Farms, and you're going to take that right.
All right. And that's going to be a yard sale.
The yard sale out of the parking lot, yes. But
Okay.
we work off of that church,
Yeah.
and up to that end of South Street,
Yeah.
there is a sign that points you down to the museum.
Aha.
And so we have it hanging, another sign saying
Yeah.
yard sale with the arrow.
So can anybody participate in your yard sale?
No, you participate in the church yard sale, but you come and buy stuff from us. So it's just for us to do the yard sale, because we don't want to take the money away from the church.
Okay.
So
So
people
people-
have donated items to us,
Okay.
and the money goes to the museum. Now, the craft fair is
Yeah.
a different story.
Yeah, you keep your money that you earn. Yeah. the people,
Yes,
yeah.
but the you can purchase our lease of space,
Yeah.
and that we make money and we don't have to do a lot of work.
Can
Whereas
a
the
person lease one space is 15? Can you take 2 spaces for 30?
of course, whatever you'd like.
And it's going to be outdoors.
It's going to be outdoors, rain or shine.
Yeah.
If you want to bring an easy up, that's fine.
Yeah.
We advertise it.
Yeah.
It goes on our Facebook page. It goes on the Auburn Facebook page.
Yeah.
It goes into the Auburn News. We put flyers out,
Okay.
and you can contact the museum, and I'll send you a reservation form.
Okay. We are talking with Helen Poirier, and she is a volunteer data research coordinator, director of summer intern program, and it is a children's program at the Auburn Historical Society and Museum. How can they get a hold of you?
At Auburn Museum at Verizon.net, or at 508-832-6856.
You've been doing this for how long now?
10 years.
Okay. What did you do for a job before you retired?
I was a elementary school teacher
I
for the.
knew you come up could be very good with children.
Yep.
An elementary school teacher.
Yeah, in the Quabbin at Ocam Center School, the Quabbin Regional School District.
Are you familiar with Wilbraham?
Yes.
Grew up there.
Okay.
Oh my! Did you grow up in Quabbin?
Nope. I grew up in Worcester.
Yeah.
And I moved to Auburn when I got married. Be 37 years this August.
Children?
Yes, I have one son who just got married, and he is in town with his wife and 2 dogs.
Millennial?
Yeah.
Yeah, in his 20s, 30s, that type of thing. Yeah. They're it's an interesting group. So are we.
Yes, it is. And as a retired teacher, I miss working with the kids. So having the interns has been fun. And we've had interns off and on. One of them went on, this was before I got there, to work at the Antiquarian Society.
Yeah.
We've had 3 that have stuck around. They're volunteers, they're no longer interns.
Yeah.
We've had some that have gone through college and have stayed with us and are helping out and working. And they have a love of history and archiving and things like that. So
If they'd like to do interning, anybody is welcome. How would they reach you? By email?
same way. If you just leave a message or at the phone or email us, I will get it, and we can go from there.
Yeah.
We have a few. We have one older volunteer. She comes in every Tuesday and Saturday, and we have tax records from 1863, and we are putting the names of people and the addresses.
Yeah.
So that when people come in looking for genealogy help or wanting to know how much land things have, we look at the database first to find out what years we can look at rather than keep working and going through the books. The original ones had the people's names but no addresses because everybody knew where everybody lived.
Yeah.
And about the 1900s, 1910 and through there, streets started to show up.
Yeah.
But no numbers, because everybody knew where everybody lived.
Wow.
So by about the 1930s, it was consistently.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you had to pay to vote too. So they had the voting list in there with the addresses. So we've started, and she just wanted to do data entry. And she comes in, she gets the books, and she just starts it, and all is well there. Now, I just finished doing the police department employee since the 1850s, 1860s, when they started as constables. Because they were coming up to an anniversary, 150th anniversary. So from using town reports, I was able to make a database and that we can find out who worked when and what were the jobs they did. Some of them did several jobs at the same time.
Do you ever put out invitations for people to come and visit so they know?
Oh, yes. It's free to the public. We give tours. We've got some fantastic artifacts. We have one that, the Civil War uniform that belonged to Joel Prouty with all its buttons.
Are you familiar? This is going to sound good. My great-great-grandfather, Benjamin Jocelyn, was the founder, the inventor of the Jocelyn rifle in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
He was from the Worcester area. And then in Stonington, Connecticut, the Jocelyn Arms, the Jocelyn Riflery Factory, that's where he put it. Boy, I bet you... Are you familiar with the Asa Waters match?
Oh, yes, we are.
I think Ben Jocelyn and Asa Waters, they were kind of working together because they were on the same riflery type of thing, or helping the United States. But when the Civil War ended, those who were manufacturing the guns, I don't know where he went. I don't know I can't find any.
I don't know.
I don't know. He just vanished.
We do have Joe Prouty's pistol. We have his medals and things like that because Prouty was a big name in town.
Yeah.
We have quite a few. We have one of the rooms is dedicated to our veterans because we wouldn't be here without our veterans, and we have uniforms out. We have a display of the first first military person from Auburn that died in the particular war.
Yeah.
And in fact, this year's summer program with the kids is based on Norman Hall because we have his sailboat, his model sailboat that he used to sail with his dad at Elm Park in the pond there.
Yeah.
So Norman Hall was the first Auburn person to die in World War II. He was on the USS Truxtun, and that went down in Newfoundland. And so we've got a 3-part series of articles, and then we're hoping that kids will come in and we'll have different ways of building boats and ships using materials that are around the home. This is what I try to do with the kids.
Yeah.
So we've got the paper towel tube type boats. We're going to do popsicle sticks. origami type, cardboard type, and I'm just maneuvering to get some scraps of wood that they could do.
Yeah.
What we'd like to do is put those boats on displays with a little tag of who did what, and have them in the museum so they could bring their family in to show that they were on display in the museum.
I bet you if you went to Lowe's or Home Depot, they always have scraps of stuff.
So does my neighbor.
Oh, your neighbor has a too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been working
so
it out.
So you're all set on that one.
Yeah, we're working it out. It's a fun thing to do,
Yeah.
and I try to make it so the kids can make whatever we do.
Yeah. It's
from
also
what
fun
they
for
have.
me as a grown-up. I mean, I love the simplest, funnest stuff that they can do. How about the senior center in Auburn? Are they aware of what you offer there as tours?
Yes, because we have people who go and do talks there on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Now, they've been closed since the cold weather because there was a pipe breakage. But we do, we used to have our meetings there. We do talks there for people. We get free talks.
Yeah.
So yes, and they have come to help too. We've interviewed some of them and to get what it was like in Auburn.
Yeah.
So.
Did you bring any flyers with you about the craft fair coming up? Because if you did, our new library building is right across down the street, and they have a beautiful new bulletin board.
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'll tell you when we close the show how you can get over there. It's like a second down the road.
Okay.
Beautiful bulletin board. A lot of my guests, it's brand new, it just opened up. But when you came in downstairs, we used to have like 3, 4 community bulletin boards. And guests would always use them, come up from all over New England. But we've been talking with Helen Poirier, and she's been a delight, and she's very much involved with the Auburn Society, Historical Society, and the museum. I call it the Hysterical Society.
Yes, we do
People
too.
look at me like, what is that?
No, we
they
do too.
know. So we should have you back. And I love the picture you brought of it. I mean, that is just, it looks like brick, and it's not.
And we've got a very tall one that we bring out because we are very proud of our museum, and we do publicize as much as we can. We want people to go and love it like we do. And it's got a lot of Auburn history. And we ask people that, when they're cleaning out, to come and bring their stuff, that we would be very good stewards in keeping it.
You're very open to having them come.
Yes, we're very open to sharing whatever knowledge we have with all.
Thank you for being with us, Helen.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
And we'll see you next time. You'll be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.